are hyped for it. You're right. They've been out, let's say, partying. We'll just say it politely. They've been out partying since the wee hours of the morning. It's incredible. The atmosphere is amazing.
Yeah, Jason Fitz, David Pollack, Maria Taylor, we're here with you, and we're trying to get you set. And these guys have been, you guys good? How you feeling? You're on live right now.
Hey, are you lost?
We've got an LSU fan right here. What's
horns
happening?
down, horns down. Hey, he can do that after last week, right?
He can do that after last week.
It's official.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing that you can do. Fitzy, you're the only one that has like an extensive knowledge of Ames, Iowa, so can you just kind of give us a little bit of a rundown?
That's actually true. You know, I toured in country music for years before I worked at ESPN. Country music is huge in Ames. The band Perry, we played here a bunch of times in Ames, Iowa. These crowds are insane, and I'm serious. Like, there are certain markets you know you're going to go to, and the crowds are going to be bigger, louder, crazier, and they're going to stick with you. That's what Ames is. That's part of why I knew this would be an incredible atmosphere. It's why it's going to be an incredible atmosphere tonight. Not just because it's a rivalry, we know that, but because it's a rivalry in this scope, like this opportunity.
Look at the school bus.
That's my favorite thing, though.
Yes.
They turn school buses into like this huge tailgate.
That's their RVs.
I've never seen that before.
Oh, it's
Pollack might have gone to school if he could have done it that way.
That would have been solid. You ain't lying. That would have been a great way to get me to class.
Literally, so we were here Thursday, and they already had a bunch of RVs camped out Thursday night. And then you could start seeing them like pulling out the trailers. We went around with Deshaunte Jones. We'll see it a little bit later, but we're like, they got their Pop-Tarts out. They got their adult beverages out. It started 3 days ago.
But that's when college football is at its best. Like, that's what today really personifies. These are two teams that frankly don't have to play each other. It's not something they have to do.
Yep.
They do it because it's good for the game and it's good for this rivalry. They do it, and you see why when you see the way they're partying here.
We don't get rivalries this early in the season most of the time. So that's what's fun. Usually rivalry week, into the year, it's like, oh yeah, hatred week, we got a bunch of games. Now, this is the only real rivalry of the week, of the big time. Again, in-state is always bragging rights. You have a year to tell all of your coworkers, yeah,
what
that's right.
Was.
See what happened was.
Horns down.
Iowa State hasn't had an opportunity to do much bragging, and now they get to flip the script and change.
Yeah, it's been 4 years since Iowa State has won. And remember, we're still waiting for Coach Campbell to get that big victory against Iowa. But you can't tell these fans anything because they believe that that's going to happen basically tonight. All right, we already had some great matchups in Week 3. Can you believe it? It's Week 3 of college football?
It's flying.
Gosh, it's flying by. Okay, let's fly through some of the highlights that we've already been able to see.
Let's see some Kansas offense.
College.
Puka.
No. Let's see them win a game on the road for the first time since 2008.
And look at this, the Les Miles offense we expected, right?
Yes.
Scoring 60. That's exactly what we saw.
That was a part of my expectation.
When you look at this and you think about what this means for Kansas football, this is everything. This is exactly why Les Miles came, and this is exactly what they expected.
Puka Williams, 121 yards of that offense, okay? 22 attempts and a touchdown, so that's huge for Les Miles in Kansas.
Oh, boy.
Wake Forest, North Carolina. I take you to the final seconds. Michael Carter.
Go down.
Does he get out of bounds?
No.
Go. Okay. Out.
Right there.
That's
right
1 second left,
There's
right?
1 second.
Yes, but it's called forward progress was stopped. Forward progress was
but Matt
stopped
Brown is
before he
saying,
went out of
give me 1
bounds.
second. I flash you back to 2009. Similar situation.
Uh-oh, where's it? Stop.
Yes.
1 second. Bo Pelini.
Get back on the sideline.
Hold up a second, Bo. Nope. 1 second.
And Texas gets the win with that field goal.
Why is Mac always asking for a second?
Yeah, there's no immaculate conception in this one, but the good news is we've got Coach Corso just jumping up on the stage.
He's taking control.
Yeah, take control of the crowd.
This is one of the best pregame moments.
I like it because the home team is always happy to start.
It never
But
gets
it does
old.
change at the end of the show sometimes, and they're not quite as happy.
It literally never gets old. All right, Corso, you're done. Back to what we saw on Friday. Washington State taking on Houston. And how about Gordon? He had an answer for everything in this matchup.
How about Holberson versus Leach on the staff together all those years? I didn't think it was going to be 7-0, by the way, in the first quarter. I thought it was going to be like 100.
A little bit early, though.
I thought it was going to be like 100-75 in this ball game, but how about the teacher the master didn't let the student beat him. Nah, bro.
I like what he did there.
No.
And also, I heard Mike Leach afterwards. He was like, I wish we would have gone to fifth quarter because it took us a while to get going, and then we had some success. And then after the game, did you see him in the locker room? Dancing like Fitz.
That's not dancing.
Yeah, that's dancing. Come on,
not
he's trying.
dancing.
It's bobbing, right?
That is swaying. That's like Fitz dancing.
I have a sneaking suspicion that we're about to make fun of me. Here we go.
Watch. Here comes. This is the worst part. Watch Leach right here. Oh, you missed it. Okay, he did jumping jacks.
Yeah, it did remind me of the way that you dance every time that we get excited with the crowd.
I'm a dancer. I'm a dancer extraordinaire. I don't know what you're talking about. Like last week, I showed you some of my sweet, sweet moves. Maybe there's a little Mike Leach in me. That's all I'm saying. Like, you know, maybe I got the. I can't dance. I can't dance. I'm sorry. There's just.
Okay, so I do have a question
talents.
for you though. Garner Minshew, is he going to be a success in the NFL? He had a great week 1.
He had a phenomenal week 1. I think he'll be okay. I don't think he's going to be a star. If that's the question.
Okay, that's all I wanted.
Got a great stash though.
All right, next up, we got to take a look at some of the signs that are out here in the crowd because they wake up early, they show up for us, they make incredible signs.
Kirk hates tacos. Oh,
So let's give us a sign. Give me a sign, Fitz. Pick one out that you like the most.
Well, I think we've got some signs going on here. Everybody's been hanging out throughout the course of the morning. Earlier today, when it was still dark out, is this heaven? No, it's Iowa. That's spectacular work. You know, but now we've got it. That's cute. I remember my first college game day.
Aww.
That's I don't know, man. Like that's why this moment? Come on, they're having their first college game day. It's good.
It's my first college game day, but whatever.
See, I like that. I like that. We've got the obligatory huge heads. Oh man, Kirk Ferentz turns lemonade into lemons. Look at that. Okay, so this is your first game day, right? How old are you?
12.
All right, you're 12. Okay, so what time did you get here?
3:30.
3:30 in the.
Wow.
What time did you go to bed last night?
Well, we drove from Nebraska, so we slept in the car.
Oh my God. Okay, where are your parents? Like, where's the soup? All the way in the back. Okay,
there.
okay. Dad wins Dad of the year, by the way. This is. Are you going to the game tonight?
No.
Oh, so you're just here for game day. That's remarkable, though. Good for you for bringing him out. That's like
So, LSU fan, please.
Oh yeah.
Let's figure this out.
So there's so many questions here.
Are you lost?
You came to game day, all right? You got here early enough to get here to the front row, and then you wore an LSU outfit. Why?
Yep, because my wife's from New Orleans.
Okay, so do you live locally?
Ankeny.
Okay, so you drove here early just to troll everybody for a team not related in this matchup.
But I'm a Hawkeye fan.
I'm just trying to get clear, like, wow, you hear the reaction. This is going to be, it's an interesting strategy. Hawkeyes wish they were hot guys, but none of them are pretty.
That's cute. I like that, lady.
Oh, yeah, the only sign of intelligence in Iowa City, Ames.
Oh, that was good.
Okay, so who did which side?
I did them both.
Oh, you did both sides. Okay, how long did it take to do the signs?
Oh, an hour.
Okay, that's way better than I can do. I can't color in the lines within an hour. That's well done. That's one of my favorites. ESPN Game Day. Welcome to Ames. Chuck Norris wears Brock Purdy pajamas. Wow, wow. Chuck Norris. We got Chuck Norris going. What do you got?
What do I got? This.
Ugly.
The ugly mug.
Ugly sign.
Can we just point out that like the fatheads don't make Pollack look any cuter? I'm just saying. I love him. I saw the sign. That's good.
It's the base. Come on.
Yeah, that's well done. That's well done. Oh wow, Iowa. You want to hear a lie? You're my best friend. Oh, come on. Okay, where did that come from?
The Office.
Okay, well that's a riveting interview right there. That's only we can do that. Eat, sleep, breathe. This is great. Look, part of the reason this crowd is hyped up is because one player, Deshaunte Jones, one of the stars for Iowa State. Yesterday, Maria Taylor had the opportunity to hang out with him. Check this out.
So walk me through the first time you came out on this field as a freshman. What was going through your mind? Yeah.
I didn't really know what to expect at first because I knew I had a chance to play a little bit, so I was just trying to get my head right for the game and actually getting on the field and just trying to block everything out, like just play football, and that's kind of what I did for my first game.
Mm-hmm. And how has it changed now when you came out here as a senior through that tunnel?
Yeah, it's surreal because the 4 years went by so fast.
Okay, I got to bring up something that you might not like. How many times have you beat Iowa since you've been at Iowa State?
I haven't.
Oh,
I haven't.
Sorry, didn't mean to bring that up for you.
I haven't beat them yet.
So what would this mean your senior season? To walk away with the win against them?
It would mean a lot because, just for the fans too as well. You know, this game is so big in this state, and
It's the Super Bowl of Iowa.
yeah, it really
Literally.
is. Man. It's crazy.
The
'cause-
Cyhawk Bowl.
Yeah.
You told me that your very first touchdown was caught somewhere in here. Take me to where it is. Take me to the
It
spot.
was this side over here. So it's like a go ball. I caught it like right here, and it was like right here. I didn't really have a celebration.
What's the celebration?
I didn't really have a
Can
celebration.
we have one
I
now?
don't know. I'll probably just go to the crowd like this or something.
There you go.
Or
Get the crowd. Get
I
the
go
crowd.
like this.
Get them up. Get them
something
up.
like that.
Get up. Get up, Jack
Something
Trice.
like
Deshaunte Jones, he only had 14 receptions in the first game for Iowa State, and now Coke would like to share a fact with you. Iowa versus Iowa State is one of the oldest rivalries in college football. The first game was in 1894, and since then there's been plenty of strange events in the series. Each team has won a game 2-0. Iowa State did it in 1902, and Iowa returned the favor in 1910. The teams didn't play each other from 1935 to 76, and then pressure from the state legislature made it happen again, and the two schools can't really agree on anything. Remember Trophygate? It became a real dilemma. Lasted about 3 years from 2010 to 2012, and neither school could really agree on a trophy. One of our trophies here at College Game Day, Kirk Herbstreit.
Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hey, Kirk's 100% sure it's not going to be 2-0.
yeah,
I
it's
am
not,
too.
right?
100% sure.
That
It
is
won't
the
be
one
2-0.
thing we can
count on.
That we're good.
When we think about this matchup, we've got a lot of Iowa State fans here. They need something to get excited about. As you look through the film, I mean, what stands out to you?
Well, it's going to be great to see Iowa State play another game. You know, we saw their close call, and everybody, you know, some people outside of Ames saw, you know, what's going on, Northern Iowa giving Iowa State a game. But this Iowa State team, I think, is still creating their own identity. They lost two of their best playmakers that they had a year ago. So even these fans are anxious to see who's going to become the next guys in line to step up. But I think a bigger, broader view is the kind of programs that they have with Kirk Ferentz and the culture that he's created. They love him here.
He's the OG.
Big fan.
And then what Matt Campbell's been able to do. Matt Campbell came over he was a Mount Union, then went to, of course, Toledo. And now what he's been able to create here has been amazing.
Does the bye week before help or hurt them in the sense of not getting rhythm versus getting time to prepare?
If they win, it worked out great. If they lose, it sucks. You know? I don't know. I think because of the way that first game went, we always talk as analysts that you improve the most from week 1 to week 2. Well, in this case, you play a game that probably wasn't your best, even though not to take anything away from Northern Iowa, and then you get a chance to go back, look at film, study what went right, what went wrong, which most teams do, and then they get a chance to play. These guys have had a couple weeks to get ready for their biggest game of the year, and we'll see if it pays off for them.
And that's why the bye's this week. There's no accident on the schedule. Everybody does their bye before their rivals, try to get it before the most, so you get the most time to prepare. But what Kirk said I like is because Northern Iowa didn't go well, there's not going to be a lot of pats on the back. So this was a team that was ranked in the top 25. Now it's going to be like, you guys don't want to listen? Look what just happened. You almost lost to Northern Iowa. So
and when you can learn that with a win in week 1 is great. I mean, a lot of teams learn that and they lose.
Right.
These guys learned that and said, listen, man, every week we got to be ready to go. And now all hands on deck. When the Hawkeyes come to Ames, I mean, everybody, including these fans, are ready to roll.
Your ears perk up a little bit
Yeah.
when you know they're coming to town. When you think about Brock Purdy, I see a lot of different signs about their brand new quarterback. He's Purdy.
Yep.
David, I know that you love him, but I want to hear both of your opinion on what you've seen with him, even though we've only had one game this
Well, I see a guy last year that I think all of us on the game day set, the first few times we saw him, we thought, that kid's a freshman. You know, he's doing great things in the Big 12. And I think the creativity last year was a thing that blew us away and really surprised us, and it gave the Big 12 fits. And listening and to his coach and himself, because a lot of the fans said, why isn't he running around more? Why isn't he scrambling? And yet he's distributing. He's throwing the football. So here he comes. He's been answering questions about that all week. Meanwhile, what were his stats? I mean, he
like 20 or
30 of something. I mean, he missed like 6 passes.
Super accurate.
And he's sitting there thinking, wow, I thought I had one of my best games of my career. Why am I answering every day? Why didn't I run?
Right.
Today, and I know David's going to talk about Iowa's pass rush, he's going to have an ability to go back to what comes natural to him, creating, things break down, being an athlete, that dual threat I think will be more in play today than, of course, it was against Northern Iowa.
How much does the shuffling of the offensive line affect that, considering they have some injuries? They're going to have to move some things around.
I don't know. When you're a quarterback, you don't even think about that. I mean,
He's a QB.
You rely on. You really don't. I mean, you practice.
If the player's
bad,
Well, then yeah. But when you're out there, you just gotta play. I mean, you prepped all week. You trust your guys. And if all of a sudden there becomes an issue, then you go to the sideline, you talk to the offense coordinator, and you say, "Hey, we got to chip Pollack. Pollack is killing us. You know, we got to do something." But you don't go into the game thinking, "What are we going to do?" You hope that they're going to be able to play well.
But that's why it's good to have a guy with Purdy. First of all, he gets the ball out of his hands really quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really good at that. The offense is going to run the football, stay balanced. These backs are taught, you can tell, to run downhill. Make it second and 7, never be 2nd and 10. So staying out of those long situations would be good. And him being more of a passer and being able to feel it in the pocket and stuff will be the development that we want to see from him.
All right.
Y'all make some noise for Kirk Herbstreit.
So thank you, sir.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, brother. We got other games we want to get into. Remember, there aren't a lot of marquee games, according to a lot of people, but Chris Felica put out this tweet earlier reminding us all that the first weekend without a ranked matchup since Week 7, 2017. What happened that week? 7 ranked teams lost, 5 lost as favorites, including 3 as favorites of 16 or more. One of those big favorites that lost was Clemson and Syracuse that Friday night.
Again.
So we know that there's going to be some upsets this weekend. We want to take a look at a couple of other big games happening across the spectrum. We'll start with Maryland Temple. Maryland, obviously an explosive offense at this point, shocked everybody by not just beating Syracuse, but whooping
can we have a moment?
Syracuse.
So I went to the Iowa State women's basketball practice, and they told me they were all watching the Maryland game because you guys were sitting there like, please stop Syracuse, so we would come here.
That's amazing. That's good thinking. That's good forward thinking.
You see that? Yeah. So I hear that we got a lot of Maryland fans behind us, but you're right. Maryland's averaging 71 points a game, 636 yards. Yes.
71 points a game. How's Loxley working out for Maryland with Josh Jackson and the playmakers? The offense has been fun to watch, but also what comes with that, Maria?
What?
A lot of pats on the back.
Yeah.
Maryland, you're so good. You're so awesome. Now going to play Temple, by the way, who's scoring a lot of points themselves, but always plays great physical defense. This is going to be a little closer than I think people think.
You think?
Well,
yes, I think this will be a very close game.
But to your point, Maryland, the back half of their schedule is brutal when they get Michigan, Ohio State, Nebraska, Michigan State in consecutive weeks. I mean, Maryland could start 7-1 and still not be a great team by the end of the year.
The crazy thing is when you say that, I think in my head from what I've seen from Maryland so far, they might have a chance to actually do something this year. Because here's what Maryland's had. They've always had dynamic playmakers. They've always had a guy you go, oh, my God, you see him with the football.
Yep.
And they got that again with Anthony McFarland Jr. But now they have quarterback play. And now they have a coach that knows the RPO game and has answers to questions. So Maryland's going to be one of those teams that we're going to be focused on all year because they might could pull upsets. Nebraska, what have you seen from them so far that blows you away? I mean, it's been okay the first 2 games. Obviously 1-1, not where they wanted to be. Michigan State's offense is always up and down. Michigan's offense? Have they showed you anything that?
Not yet.
I mean,
One of us said last week that Army would give them a difficult time. All right, another game we got. Another game we got coming this weekend. Stanford at UCF. I'm kind of bummed for UCF because last year in the playoff conversation we kept saying, hey, they don't play enough good teams, but it was like, hey, next year they get Stanford, that'll be their opportunity. Now Stanford doesn't look great. So what do you expect from that game?
You know, it's going to be an interesting clash of styles because UCF is built on speed. Stanford, how about Stanford coming all the way across the country to Orlando?
I love it.
That's pretty awesome. I mean,
unfortunate for them, I think. But I love the idea of going to UCF.
And KJ Costello being back is huge. I mean, let's be honest. He's one of the better Stanford quarterbacks we've ever seen. So, and there's a lot of great names to throw around. So this should be an offensive shootout, and UCF gets it. Listen, it's still a good team to come to town and gain some respect and maybe move up in the polls.
It's going to be harder and harder for UCF to schedule opponents because they're so good at this point. So we'll disagree.
Why didn't they schedule Florida? They could have scheduled Florida last year.
Well, it'll be harder and harder for them to schedule in what they consider an equitable situation. Let's say it that way.
Home and home.
If it's that important to you and the schedule's that important to you, you take what you can get and you schedule other people.
Well, you mentioned earlier, Pollack, you mentioned the Big Ten in offense. Well, one of the stars of offense in the Big Ten, obviously, is Jonathan Taylor. We've got a little bit of a peek behind the scenes here with the star running back from Wisconsin. Check it out.
There's a thing that is new-ish to college football, and that's like text chains, right? You were telling me that you communicate with some of the guys in the league. Who do you talk to, and what do you get from that?
Really guys, of course, guys at my school, Melvin Gordon, James White, guys like Saquon Barkley, Bryce Love, guys who I've met, and guys who I've looked up to, really just trying to take notes from those guys and pick their brains a bit and figure out what was their mindset while they were in college.
What's the best advice you've gotten from one of those guys on how to handle this process?
They just told me that they're just trying to win games. If you focus on trying to win the game each week for your team, things will fall into place. Your talent, your hard work, it'll all accumulate into one, and it'll show on the field. But the biggest thing is it all needs to go from a purpose of just trying to win each and every single game for your teammates.
That's the always incredible Jen Lauda hanging out with Jonathan Taylor. Now hanging out with us. By the way, we get a little equity on the...
I'm standing on the short side over here. I try not to hang out with the tall people.
That's what Fitz has said, yeah.
Wow.
How cool is it that Jonathan Taylor can just pick up his phone, talk to Saquon Barkley, talk to Bryce Love, and be like, what'd you think of this run? What can I do better? And they are just flooding him with advice and information. That's new in 2019.
He learned the most from all of those guys? Like, what is he taking away from them?
Enjoy the process, but also, be present in what you're, because a lot of times you're looking ahead, right? Like, are we going to make the playoffs? Are we a team that's a contender? Or where am I going to fall in the draft? They said enjoy every single moment of this process.
And how cool is it nowadays because of social media and all? You can get these people's numbers easy, and you can have those conversations with people you look up to that you can learn something from. So I think that's one of the few things that come out of social media is stuff like that.
There's a little bit, right?
Jen, another thing that I feel like we've noticed about Jonathan Taylor, he's already had 3 receiving touchdowns. So something that he's added to
priority.
the game, is him in the passing game.
And that was the most impressive thing about hanging out with him. This is a guy who always dangles a carrot in front of his own face. 1,900 plus yards his first year, 2,100 yards his second year. What can he do to bring his game to the next level? Catching out of the backfield, scoring, receiving touchdowns. And he's got more up his sleeve with this Wisconsin team. They've outscored opponents in the first 2 games 110 to nothing. So Wisconsin trying to send a message, would love to be back in that playoff conversation.
Nice.
The real question then becomes, given his production, which has been incredible, what would it take in everybody's mind here for him to become productive enough to be in the Heisman conversation?
Well, he's not a quarterback, first and foremost, right? And that's tough.
Quarterback award now.
It really has become, you have to be a contender, right, in the playoffs, and you have to be the signal caller.
Yeah.
So he could certainly do it, but he'd have to put up monster numbers in order to be in that conversation. And Wisconsin has to do its part and be in the conversation as
Pat
well.
Mahomes thinks that he should win the Heisman. Yeah, we talked about it, though, on Get Up. We were like, over the last 13 years, it's been 11 QBs that have won the Heisman, and the 2 running backs that did were Alabama running backs. Yeah. But I do think that if Jonathan Taylor continues to put up these sick, ridiculous numbers, and he does it against Michigan, he does it against Ohio State, he could have Heisman moments that we're talking about.
Well, and a lot of people look at it as a career award, too. I mean, regardless of what it is, and if you talk about a guy that puts together another 2,000-yard season and could break the NCAA record in rushing, by the way, in 3 seasons. I mean, that's how good he's been. Nobody's ever been as productive as him in the first 2 years of college. And his team's a contender. And here's the thing, Trevor Lawrence, he started okay. He hadn't started great. He has that beat down against Tua, which is kind of a head-to-head thing I think that will play from last year. Clemson's never won a Heisman. Etienne's in the backfield. So
and Travis,
Joe
he only
Burrow's
had 53 yards last week.
Yeah, so I think right now it's looking pretty good. I wonder if Clemson, by the way, lack of marquee games is going to hurt Trevor Lawrence.
That's true.
Because their schedule the rest of the way is pretty daggum easy, and some of these other guys are going to have big-time games that will help them in the long run. But Jonathan Taylor deserves to be in the conversation.
Yeah, cool customer. We'll be featuring him on Game Day in the upcoming weeks. Real cool. You hang out with him and you're like, I'm not worthy. I'm just,
how was he 20 years old? I mean, just maturity.
And he's so smart, right? One of the stories that has come out, guys, that's real quick, that he went to his lineman and said, what can I do to make your jobs easier? How many running backs out there who are in the Heisman conversation, who are doing that, are going up to linemen being like, what can I do
they give him any pointers?
for you? They definitely did. A couple of things.
They told him what to do, basically. Well, Jen, thank you so much for joining us. Seriously.
This has been amazing. You guys are amazing. The line of cars out there this morning was miles long at 4:30. It was awesome.
All right, I'm taking the mic from you now. Jen, you rock. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Y'all make some noise for Jen Lauda. It is time to play cornhole. That's what we're going to do. Bag toss, cornhole.
We really are? We should
I don't know. We've got a board. We've got fans. Come on. We got an Iowa and an Iowa State fan. We're going to do a contest here. Y'all ready? Make some noise. Come on, let's go. Okay, so this is the way we're going to work it. Come over here. Do we have bags?
Are we doing proper distance and stuff, too? Or is it just going to be...
So we'll start here. My Iowa fan. What's your name?
Chris.
Chris from Iowa. Make some noise for Chris. Come on, be nice. That was the best we could do. All right, my Iowa State fan, your name?
Claire.
Claire, make some noise for Claire. Chris, you're going to lose this battle in crowd popularity, but this is the way we're going to do it. I'm going to ask you guys trivia questions, okay? And with each trivia question you get right, you get a bag. When you get a bag, then we'll go through the toss. There'll be a winner that gets an absolutely epic, life-changing prize. I'm shaking my head no for the epic, life-changing prize, but there is a prize. Okay, we've got bags somewhere. We've got right behind me. Okay.
There they are.
Okay, so we'll start with Iowa. Who is your team's leading rusher?
Mekhi Sargent.
Oh, that's a bag. He gets a bag. He gets a. Oh.
Want to talk to you guys real quick?
Keep going.
Okay. So, okay, we're going to keep going here. You get a bag. We're still on TV. We get to do that. All right. So your next question: what number does Nate Stanley wear?
Number 4.
Oh, that's 2 bags. And lastly, who did Iowa beat in their bowl game last season?
Mississippi State.
Oh, that's 3 bags. He gets all 3 bags. Ooh. Okay, you got this. You got this. Who is your team's leading receiver? You just saw a feature of him.
We are looking forward to a great show. You guys know
Deshaunte Jones.
Oh, she's 0 for 1. She's 0 for 1. We're going to give you some help here. What number does Brock Purdy wear? Do you have like a phone a friend? Do you have somebody 15. In the crowd that can help you?
15.
Do you have somebody?
15.
So you see that number right there? What number does Brock Purdy wear?
15.
Oh, she gets a bag. Okay. When was the last time Iowa State beat Iowa?
Oh, it was like, I want to say 2015.
2014. All right, she gets 2 bags. We may have cheated there. We had 2 bags. We get 3 bags. Okay. And I guess Reese is talking, so we're going to throw there. Reese Davis getting everybody hyped up as he does every single week. All right, now we're going to throw. You've got 3 bags. You've got 3 bags. You've got. Did they give you 3? You're only supposed to give 2. Give me one of those bags back. We already helped you.
Well, he's got 4.
Oh, he's got 4. Never mind. All right, you get 1 bag less. All right, so we'll go ahead. We'll do throws. Here we go. Oh, not on the board.
Trivia is way better.
For those of you keeping track at home, Iowa got 1 more bag than Iowa State in the trivia. Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, she's on. Oh, she was almost on the board.
Close though.
All right, here we go. And it's up. It bounces in and out. She's feeling confident. She's feeling confident. You can see the swagger. Oh, that's 3 points. That's 3 points. Oh, good God. That's 3 points.
That is not 3 points.
That's not 3 points. She can seal a victory here. She had 1 less bag to begin with. 1 less bag to begin with, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I can't say that it will change the way the game plays out, but for right now, Iowa State is your Cornhole Corn Cup champion.
There you go.
Look at this.
Let's make the Cornhole Corn Cup champion. I don't even know what that is.
Oh, yeah.
I'm making things up as we go.
Yes.
Do you want to thank anybody?
Do I want to thank? I'll thank my friends over there.
Maybe thank the people that helped you get the answers that you didn't know.
Yes. I totally knew the answer.
You didn't have a clue.
Okay.
At all. Okay.
What number is Brock Purdy?
15.
Oh, she's got it now. Y'all make some noise for Claire. She's our champion.
Thank you, Claire.
That is Cornhole Corn Cup Championship.
Yeah, it's everything that we expected and more.
It's everything we wanted.
Well, listen, we are less than a minute away from game day kicking off live from Ames, Iowa for the first time ever. So we're going to have a lot of fun. We thank you all, you guys, for showing up, but we need you to stay hyped the entire show, okay?
Stay hyped.
Hype the entire show.
Listen to this guy.
And,
this guy's great, man.
I mean,
what a great guy.
It's a spitting image. Wow. Any big predictions for tonight's game?
The home team wins.
They're going to be very happy.
We have 2 people saying the home team
I
wins.
think they're going to be pretty happy.
All right.
I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going the opposite way.
Okay.
Iowa wins this game. I'm sorry, but I'm not on the Jumbotron, so they can't hear it. We'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
Thanks for joining us on Countdown to Game Day. Remember to share a Coke this season.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is a cyclone alert. Ladies